What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott. And as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about 5 things that women do that show men where you're chasing. Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I will love you forever and ever and ever. Along with the bell notification if you want to get my videos right away. So many times I hear women say, if I just got this sooner, if I got this 5 days ago, I wish I saw this 5 months ago, 5 years ago. Well, click the bell notification and you'll be right on it, okay? So the reason I'm making this video is so many women come to me and wonder what chasing is, what it looks like, and if they're actually doing it. Because sometimes they feel like I'm not really chasing, but then they watch my video and realize, oh shit, they are, or they're actually not, but a guy starts acting different, and then she starts to question herself and be like, well, am I? So I'm gonna go through it all over through these slides, okay? So the first thing I really want to get out of the way is chasing happens when, number one, your standards are lower / and or I guess your desire is higher than what you can negotiate. I guess it's the actions from your standards, your lower standards, or your desire being so high. It's what you do because of that. It's number one. And number two is what you can negotiate. Meaning, if your standards are so low that you can't negotiate. Example of that would be you desire the man so much that you fear losing him, or that you like him so much that you don't want to tell him off or correct him on his behavior or something like that. You can't really negotiate anything because you're afraid of losing him, or you desire the outcome so much. Then you're naturally going to start moving towards chasing the guy. Why wouldn't that happen? Right? That's the only other answer when this kind of shit happens, because you're not just going to have really low standards and a high desire and not chase. I mean, especially if you're not standing up for yourself or negotiating anything. So what happens naturally is the guy has the power and you're going to start chasing to get validation. Okay, so with that being said, the intensity of chasing is based on how drastic the contrast. If you two are making effort together, like he's making effort, you're making effort, and you both are happy, go lucky, whatever, great, that's awesome. But if only one of you are making effort and then you keep on going with it, there's a problem. So in the beginning, if you both are going back and forth and he's doing all that shit that you see guys do all the time, the love bombing, the heavy load, or being front heavy with all this stuff, the initiating texting, and then it dies off, and then you're continuing to do it, then you're starting to chase, okay? And it's more drastic the more contrast it is. If he's giving you some breadcrumbs and you're chasing, that's still drastic, but not as drastic if the guy is not saying anything at all and you're still chasing. So you get what I'm saying here. I'm beating a dead horse. So chasing is a resources thing. It's not, I'm the one always reaching out, Elliot. I'm the one always initiating. Why am I the one always making plans? That's just part of it. That's just one of these little categories I have down here. That might be effort. That might be time, and things like that. But those are all in the category of resources. Okay, time, energy, effort, money, emotion, etc. The more you invest of that into somebody, usually it's because you like them. But again, if I go back to what I'm saying here, if you're investing a lot more than the person, okay, and you keep on doing it over an extended period of time, you're chasing. It's not just I'm the one always initiating. It's a power thing too, is what I'm trying to say. So with that being said, all these things build a context. It's context. It's not just one thing. So many women come to me and say, I'm always double texting him. I'm always reaching out. He's not responding to my texts. I don't want to reach out again, Elliot, because I feel like if I do, I'm chasing. Hun, it has more to do with just, you reaching out and sending another text. It's context. So there are 2 types of frames that the context creates that make him think you're chasing. And that's the frequency you're giving these resources up, okay? So if you're showing him an abundance of these resources and they're easily available, again, availability is another one, he's going to assume you're chasing and eventually take you for granted. Why would he think otherwise, okay? And secondly, he feels you're more into it than him, okay? If the context starts to come together, and he feels you're into him more than he is you, he's naturally going to fall into the mindset that you're chasing because he's not. I hope that makes sense. He's coming from a place of casuality, independent from the outcome. So when you contrast this, going back to what I said earlier, he's going to believe you're outcome dependent. Okay, so to summarize that up, if someone starts to chase more than the other, or give more of the resources than the other, he's naturally going to feel that you're into it more than him. There's no other reason for him to do that. So then he's going to either take you for granted, right? Or he's going to, I guess this is a byproduct of taking you for granted. He's going to treat it very casually. There's going to be no reason for him to invest. Like, you're not going anywhere. He feels he has you. And then that naturally gives him the power and makes you the chaser. So let me get into 5 things that make you seem like you're chasing the guy. Obviously, being too abundant. Chasing isn't always reaching out, but it's offering and being too abundant to the guy, too available. Remember, it's context. So even though you're not technically chasing him, the abundance of these resources, or how easily it is for him to access them, does create a picture of chasing. Okay, I tell women, never play hard to get, never be a bitch, don't be cold-hearted, but be reciprocal. And we're going to get into that. You know, if he's not giving back, then maybe you need to pull back a little bit. And if it comes at a standstill, then you need to speak up and say, hey, you know, I like where this is going, or where I thought it was going, but it seems to be a little slower right now. Is there something I'm missing? Is something up? Is something wrong? You know, I mean, whatever. I tell women, women will come to me so much and say, all these videos are talking about pulling away when he pulls away. Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent, but I mean, you got to hold your ground, ladies. Like, if something bothers you, speak up. Even if that means losing him, it's standards. Everything is standards, okay? So unless he's love bombing you or going too fast, match his effort or a little less. We'll get into how much. Okay, why give more than he deserves if you're not dating? So many women keep on, and I guess this becomes a validation thing. They keep giving and giving and giving, wanting to get a validation from the guy. Okay, they're going to post something on Instagram to see if he looks at it. They're going to text him something to see if he looks at it or if he responds. That's validation texting. Stop doing that. As soon as he starts acting different for a longer period of time, like, you know, days, maybe you got to say something. That's just my opinion. Okay? Initiating more than 60% of the time. Ladies, if you are initiating more than 60% of the time, that is a problem. I think it could be 60-40 either way. That is fine as long as it's balanced overall, 50-50. But again, I'm saying here, these aren't exact numbers, but I do think it's safe because if you want to show more interest and you do like talking to him, it is okay to initiate. It is okay to reach out. It is okay to reach out time after time. Right? But I mean, time after time, I mean consecutively, like, you know, well, I was the one who reached out last time. Okay, who cares? You can reach out again, okay? It doesn't matter. But as soon as he stops, or you've done more than a double initiation and he's not really adding any more value, then you need to say something. I'm telling you need to say something or you need to pull back. That's just how it is. So 3 is you're not focusing on reciprocation. Okay, so I have a little chart here. Usually in the beginning, the guy is always going to initiate more. That's just how it is. Low value men especially. High value men, on the other hand, will initiate because of interest, but then it will move to reciprocal investments. Why? Because a high value man doesn't have to invest a lot in you. He has a lot of options. Just like you don't have to invest in him. You know, a guy who's a 9 or a 10, he has a lot of options. You know, if this woman is going to play, I mean, he does have to invest in you, but I mean, if like women are going to try to play this like hard to get game, that is not going to work for a high value man because you have nothing that he cannot get from anyone else. He is reaching out to you because he is interested in you. So you two are going to be adults, him included, and have reciprocal investment and good communication, hopefully. But of course, what usually happens is women pick up their investments, which is fine okay, as I have here as number 3, but then it goes down to number 4. She starts super investing for some reason, whether the guy's high value or low value, like over fucking doing it. And if it's a low value, man, it stops and she keeps on doing it, and then that's where she's chasing. So focus on reciprocity. 4, lowering your standards. Okay, so I'm going to show you examples of women lowering their standards versus raising your standards or having high standards. So lowering your standards is you're staying around hoping that he changes his mind. That's the biggest problem I see all the time, and it gets so many women in traps, and they just seem to, as I have here at number 7, justify the guy. You're sticking around to your original plan, even though things have changed and you're still trying to get him. Number 3, knowing what to do, but you're not doing it, such as calling a motherfucker out. Sorry for my language. I need to stop cussing. Calling a guy out on his BS, but you don't because you're afraid of losing him. I see it all the time. And then you wonder why, you look like you're chasing because you're fucking beta. Goddamn, my cussing. You're beta in this situation. You have no backbone. A lot of women don't, man. And I don't mean that disrespect. Maybe it's just I'm biased because I talk to a lot of women in this emotional state where they don't have the power. And I'm just trying to give it back. If there's anything I could do to help you ladies with that, let me know. 4, talking more than 2 months without a title. Soon as 8 weeks come up, ladies, 6 dates, 6 to 8 dates, or 8 weeks, and you don't have a title, I don't care if he tells you, looks you in the eyes and says he loves you. I don't give a flying F. I don't care. I don't care if he treats you like a boyfriend or like he's your boyfriend. If there is no title, he is talking to other women. No, he's Elliot. I know he's not. He's so busy. He is. Trust me, he is. I'm a guy. Trust me. This guy is talking to other women. Okay? Talk to him after he says he doesn't want a relationship. Number 5. Okay? If he says he doesn't want a relationship, cut that shit out. It's done. I just got out of one. I don't know. I really like you. I don't want to lose you, though. Oh, great then. Guess what? You are losing me. You don't want a relationship. That's fine. No rush. But that's not fair to me because that's not what I want. If you change your mind, let me know. And then you dip. That's simple as that. And then I'm telling you, I don't blame men for women being in these situations anymore. If he manipulates you, if he's a piece of shit, okay, that's one thing. But if you know the outcome and you're trying to change it, that's on you. Especially when he says this stuff I have listed here. 6, thinking he is for some reason a different guy. My guy's different. He's different than other men. No, he's not. No, he is not, ladies. And then 7, of course, justifying for him. Now, a woman of high value who I love talking to on the phone, right? I don't get a lot of these, but calling him out on his BS, respectively, okay? Calling the guy out on his bullshit. Cutting him off immediately after the 8-week mark if he says no, if you guys have a disagreement. Cutting him off if you want something different. Qualifying him. Again, there's a difference between qualifying and justifying. Justifying is saying, well, he is always busy, and I know he is because he's a lawyer, and this time during this riot, he's blah blah blah. No, I don't care. I don't care if he's Superman. I don't care if he's Batman. A guy can text you when he's on the effing toilet. A guy can make time for you. Trust me. Okay. 5, he doesn't put up with, or you don't put up with his BS. And 6, there's a freedom of outcome. You're outcome dependent or independent. Wait, you have a freedom of outcome. Sorry, you're outcome independent. You're not worried about it. You're worried about the results. If you don't get them, you move on. Simple as that. But a lot of women can't do it. And of course, number 5, the most important thing I think is you can't negotiate. Now, why can't you negotiate, okay? When I say negotiate, I mean uphold your standards and follow through, and if you don't get them, walk away. The one with the strongest negotiation power is the person who demands what they want, and if they don't get it, they walk away. So, number 1 reason is your feelings overpower your logic. You can't let go because you like him so much and you hope that he changes. You then justify crap and wonder why you're still in the same situation you're in with man after man, okay? Secondly, you're outcome dependent. You can't negotiate because you're so tied to getting him that he could take advantage of you in that scenario, and that's usually what happens. When a man's talking to a woman, again, so example I always use with negotiation is if you and I are hooking up, if I was ever so lucky, ladies, and you say, Elliot, I really like you, I want a relationship, And then I say, hey, I think you're a swell girl too. I would never say that, but I think you're pretty nice and you're awesome too. I really like you. It's just not what I'm looking for right now. And then you continue to hook up with me the next day. I can only assume by you continuing to hook up with me the next day that you're okay with friends with benefits. Otherwise, why would you do it? So you're lowering your standards. And finally, he knows he has you. You can't negotiate because he's calling your bluff, and there is a bluff because a lot of women like to act like they're hard-ass, ladies who are like, I'm done with this guy, but you're not done with him. You're just trying to call his bluff, but because he cares less, he usually wins because your end result is different, or your mindset, again, you're outcome dependent. He's not. So it usually hurts a woman at the end, okay? So it's those 5 things. Let's go over one more time what they are. You're too abundant. You initiate more than 60% of the time. 65, that's fine, ladies, whatever. You're not focused on reciprocity, meaning be selfish, ladies. Get it. Give and get. Give and get. 4, you lower your standards. And 5, you can't negotiate. This all wraps up into all the stuff that women say, well, I'm the one always chasing. I'm the one always initiating. I'm the one always texting. He doesn't text back. I feel like I'm chasing. I really don't want to reach out anymore or ask him how he's doing because if I do, I feel like I'm chasing. Okay, you're right. But that all falls under this, okay? So that being said, ladies, I love you. Take care and peace.